Where shall we go today? Where shall we go? Where do you want to go today? Let's visit Lincoln! This is a library. It's closed at the moment. Lincoln! Look, it's a city. Ooh, with a windmill. Look at that! Look at that! I think I was in Wigan, but I'm not. I'm in Lincoln. Lincoln's main shopping centre is called Waterside, but I can't see any water around here, except for the rain, but I think that's just by chance. Moose used to be a popular name for certain establishments. This one is Maisie Mill. Maisie Moo even. I don't know what Maisie Moo is, but I'm sure it'd be lovely. Seems that Lincoln has its historic parts. For example, this walkway or gate behind me. It's very common in towns and cities like this. However, this one appears to have the first ever opticians. They even sell like police stuff as well. It's brilliant. It's kind of modern and old together. Here we are again at the Waterside shopping entrance. But this is the shopping centre. But this is the main entrance. But still no water anywhere. It's weird. Might have guessed. There's water next to the shopping centre, so this should be called Shopping Centre Side Water, but I bet it's not. There are many works of art around Lincoln, including this rather strange sculpture that's living, well, existing. It's a time for what was the closed down shop. And this one, looking at those things there, and the blue, I think this used to be a Boots. That's my guess anyway. I'm not saying the animals are dangerous here in Lincoln, but even the pigeons are kept behind bars for the public safety. Now this is the Lincoln Square, which is rectangular, which isn't unusual. But what is unusual is that it's the biggest sign on it is Halifax. We're nowhere near Halifax. Well, we're nearer than what I normally am, but we're not near enough for this to be. It's not Halifax. It's time for another round of guess what the shop was before it shut down. And this one has got us a big clue. It's got a big anthem there, which I know is a computer game. And if I look very, very carefully, I can just see a rough outline of the name Game. So this used to be a game, although probably before it was a game, it used to be a game station or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's shut now, so it doesn't really matter. I've been to many towns and cities and villages where they're trying to reinvent themselves, but no one's ever said we're reinventing ourselves. However, here, they've actually got where the reinvention begins. A cinema pictures is being built behind me. So it's going to make Lincoln be dragged into the 18th century. It's going to be exciting. This arcade says car park on it, but it's not a car park, it's an arcade, so that's a bit silly. Not as silly though as this sign here. They obviously don't know me. If you can't drink hot coffee on a hot day, you are weak and will never survive the apocalypse, it says. Well, if I drink any coffee on any day, it's going to kill me, so I won't survive an apocalypse with coffee anyway, so... Another exciting game of guess what shop it was before it shut down, although this is easy because they've still got the sign up there where it says Greenwoods. So yeah, that's an easy one. Often you see a barge in the middle of a city centre, and it's less often you see modern art like that, which is leaving over the canal. So this is a canal, not a river. Ergo, it's still water, but it's normally the building. Why? What? It's not the biggest shopping centre I've ever been to, but it's certainly the noisiest. Well, I've been hunting high and low in Lincoln, and I'll tell you what, I still can't find a sex shop anywhere. Got another closed shop behind me. It's a closed clothes shop. Yeah, so we're going to guess what it is. I think it was the Edinburgh Woollen Company. And, more importantly, look, I finally found a sex shop. Yes. This shop is called White Stuff. White Stuff to me is things like fridges, freezers, washing machines, stuff like that. No, not here in Lincoln. It's a posh clothes shop. Hunter's fish and chip shop. So popular there's no one in it. Sadly it's open at the minute, but I'm not going in. Doesn't matter where I go, I'll always find an horribly named slug and lettuce. They're everywhere. I don't understand how something called slug and lettuce can be so popular. Ugh. Again, with these old towns and cities, we always have this area that's a bit weird, and it'll end up being some kind of Harry Potter thing experience or whatever. So I'm going to go up here. It's called the Straits. People have a funny accent around here as well. Right, this is unusual for a city centre. There's some really horrible houses that are quite modern, just stuck on a street that's like full of heritage. How did they get away with that? I reckon it was a bit of that, because they are vile. I'm not saying it's steep, this road, but it's steep. Cobbles, though, are taken from the old Coronation Street set. I recognise them. This one here is one that Deirdre Barrell tripped over on in 1973. This street reminds me of that old advertisement for the bakery where he rides up the hill on his bike and then rides down. Doesn't show the bit at the end where he splats into a tree and dies, though. Wouldn't be funny, though. You won't want to buy the bread, would you? This is easily the steepest hill I've walked up today. As you can see how far I've come up the hill. And still not near the top. Oh my word. It just goes on and on and on. Thankfully, there's a hospital there. You can probably get some treatment. I've lost my Sherpas. I think we're near the top now, though. I can smell the summit. Lincoln has a castle. It also has a cathedral, which is in front of me. It's a medieval wall, walk, prison, Magna Carta. Now, Magna Carta was a document that was written by some guys who come out of a pub, one of the first pubs ever built in Britain, in like 1012 or something like that. And they wrote a list of rules of what people should do. And we still use it to this day. Yeah. Oh, if you want to go in, it's £33 or £14 or £8 or £18. I've no idea what for, because I can't be bothered reading it, and my legs are showing as well. I don't like that. An early form of gun was something called a cannon. However, it wasn't very good because you couldn't put it in your pocket or use it on your own or actually hit anything. But apart from that, the cannons were brilliant. So here we are then, within the castle walls. Getting to the castle is free, but you can see the walls behind me. They're actually quite well made considering how old they are. They were built at least 50 years ago and they're still holding up quite well now. I think the workmen there are actually tidying the tools away. I think they've just finished building it. It looks like there's big tubs for water and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah. So here we are, as near as we can get to the walls without actually being near the walls. And there's a weird like building in the middle, which looks like it's a swimming pool or something. I don't know. Some of the medieval people were quite posh. But there's also a nice plaque here as well on the floor, which tells the story of the gentleman who decided to basically make the walls good again. A bit like an early Donald Trump, but he even put fake battlements on them. There were no battlements to begin with, so very much like a Donald Trump. Those two things sticking up there are not fake battlements. That would be impressive, to be fair, because they're mighty huge. They're actually part of the cathedral, the big church that's on top of the well, it's not on top of the castle, it's over there. The castle, yeah. I'll go and have a look. As I walk through the castle wall, no, I mean not literally through the castle wall because I'm not a ghost, but as I walk through the castle wall, you can see behind me you've got some really nice architecture and an archway, and then we go through the main archway with a big door on it. We're like a big door, and then we're out again. But I cannot but feel that going through a shopping centre is a bit more interesting than walking through that. Sorry. This behind me is the oldest visitor centre in the world. The idea was come up to by someone from Lincoln, and they thought we need people to know about Lincoln because YouTube wasn't around, you couldn't watch videos like this, so they built this very old building, which is even older now than it was when they first built it, because it gets older as time goes on. That's how things work. If you don't want to pay the extortionate fees to get into the cathedral, don't worry about it. It's all for its fairy tale anyway, isn't it? You've got these lovely pictures here that basically show you all the stuff going on, and it says the best views are inside. They're right, but I've seen it now on a picture, so I don't need to pay that silly amount of money to look at it for real. It's a bit like playing one of them horror games when you see things scrolled on the wall. That is Victorian vandalism. And to be fair, these entire walls in this walkway are full of them. Look, people have been doing stuff for millions of years, graffitiizing this beautiful walkway. And some really horrible people have even stuck scaffolding up. I mean, that's just a bit of... Oh, I like a good fairy tale like many other people. What I don't like is constant racket. And these two towers seem to have bells in them that don't seem to shut up. It's not even a tune, it's just noise. So if you're coming to Lincoln, buy some earplugs. As you can see from this angle, the noise is still going on for God's sake. Oh, sorry, I've blasphemed outside the church, that's not good. But there's also a third tower. Look, that's tower number 3, but that one's shy, so it hides behind the other 2. And it's gone. It's gone quiet. Now the locals are joining in. Listen very carefully. You can also hear someone playing with their organ inside the Cathedral Abbey church building thing. Remember, this was all built to tell a fairy story. That's a lot of effort. Nickelodeon don't go to that trouble, and Jack and Ori, they were only 10 minutes. So, yeah, there's a lot of effort gone into this for one of the biggest fairy stories ever. Oh, they're off again. Ah! I'm in the lobby of the Cathedral Abbey, whatever it is. And it is quite spectacular. It's free to go this far. But again, it's all for a fairy story, isn't it? So, I'm sorry. Nice as it is, there's no chairs. Where do you sit? Where do people come and sit? There's no chairs. Oh, it's very sad. But it's a nice church. If you like nice churches. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, all the way up there. Then we just walk out, we pretend we've just got married. Which again is another waste of time. And it goes dark, you can't see anything behind me. That was pointless, wasn't it? As I said before, the Magna Carta is stored here. Not here, but they've got a theme park, which is the Magna Carta pub. Obviously, because that's where the Magna Carta was written, in a pub. And not only that, we've got, when you walk up this hill, which is huge, I think we all suffer from this, Rolly's Fudge Pantry, or Panties. So if you want to go somewhere that's got really, really, really steep hill, which they've named the steep hill because it's steep and it's a hill, then you can do a lot worse. Look how steep it is. I've only walked 3 yards and I've gone down 5 miles. It is the steepest hill around here. Look, it goes all the way down there. I've got to get down there to get to my car. I wish I had that bike that baker had back in the day. This hill is steep. They've even got a base camp. I have heard that Jeremy Corbyn isn't a big fan of Lincoln. I've no idea why. Absolutely no idea why. Most people tell you that the coffee's fantastic and the best coffee you've ever had ever. Not here. Coffee's bobbins, apparently. At least they're honest. This is another church, although it's a bit smaller than the other one, which is the big one. But it's still quite big. So, yeah. Look, there's the baker's bike. The one who rode up the hill and then crashed down again. It's there. And that must be the baker, although he sells shoes now. There's more money in it. Although I think it's a lot of cobblers myself. Lincoln's even got, look, a karaoke bar. I could have danced all night, but I can't because it's shut at the moment. A lot of this town was built by the Normans in the Normans days, medievally and stuff like that, which is about 75 years ago, including these lovely first ever brick buildings and this rather amazing brick walkway, which is really nice, particularly with the concrete above. That kind of adds a lovely touch there. They painted it white as well to make it look really cool. There are many cities around that have lots of bikes. This one doesn't have many bikes, but what it does have, which is a bit different, is a mobility scooter. So they're very upmarket around here, aren't they? It's a bit posher, isn't it, than a bike. The shop behind me is called Hidden Earring. It'd be cruel if it was for blind people though, wouldn't it? So there you go then, we're in this really quiet, quite nice cottagey. Look at these cottages. Look at the row of cottages there. Very, very nice. Part of Lincoln, which is off the tourist spot. Yet weirdly, there's a windmill. Yep, a windmill. So there you have it, Lincoln. If you want to come somewhere where you can have a game of guess what the shop used to be, for example, Valerie Petite, because it still says it up there, you're not likely to jump into Jeremy Corbyn or even bop into him, and more importantly, you like bells that never stop chiming. Oh, as if by... Then come to Lincoln because it's got everything. It's got all old stuff, it's got new stuff, it's got stuff that shouldn't be there, and it's not got Jeremy Corbyn. Till next time, bye. Where shall we go today? Where shall we go? Where do you want to go today? Let's visit. One of the great pastimes for the Victorians was looking at cars. They love it. Nowadays we do train spotting and we do aeroplane spotting and stuff like that. But this was a big industry back in the day when Lincoln was just forming. In fact, it was so big that people give a massive cheer when you see a car on a trailer being towed by another car. Way! That kind of thing. And in fact, it got so big they had to actually build a grandstand just to look at the cars, because the crowds were that phenomenal that you couldn't actually get to see the cars for the people, so they built this stacked grandstand so everyone could look over everyone else. And yeah, there you go, a car watch here in Lincoln. It's brilliant. As well as rainbows, which were invented in Lincoln, showers were also invented in Lincoln. Remember, we've been to Bath. Well, this is where the first shower was. Basically, the water came off there, landed down there, and you just get all lovely and wet. Beautiful, beautiful. I much prefer a shower to Bath, so I think I prefer Lincoln to Bath too. Almost within gobbing distance of Lincoln Town Centre, city centre, which is behind that building there, is this, which is a beautiful area of land which has been spoilt because they've turned it into a golf course. Why would you do that? It's beautiful. There's trees, there's everything, and they've made a golf course out of it. Oh, how to ruin a good park. Make a golf course on it.